Okay.
All right.
We
Broadcast you were watching has ended.
should be going up again.
Yep.
Wow.
Uh, and we're back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we're back.
Anyway,
Uh,
so
yeah,
sorry about
we'll
that. Thunder.
have to splice that audio in.
Yep.
Robin, you were in the middle of telling us about the a drug-infested cave that you retrieved.
Yeah.
Your gaming.
So we had to carry this thing out, and this. So we had to carry the gaming table out about 30 feet. And this.
You and Jasmine.
No. This little man who is still high was exhausted, just completely wrecked. I don't think I could do this. And we have to lift it back into Judith's big 7-seater wagon thing.
Right.
And I thought he was going to die. Anyway, we got it home and we put it in the sunroom. And you sent a photograph of Jasmine playing it.
Yes.
So Judith was away in Manchester this weekend. And she said, oh yeah, before she went away, we get one of those tables, when it's wet for the kids over the summertime, air hockey. I said, Judith, the air hockey's great. You have to get a proper air hockey table if you really wanted it. But you know what's going to happen. They'll get it, they'll play it for 2 days, and that'll be it gone. It's done. Right. Why don't we get a gaming table that they can all play, and then they can sit on it and play board games on it and do other stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, the board thing, okay. And they'll be able to play Monopoly and different... Yeah, absolutely, on top of it, yeah. Now, I think she had a picture of one of these big touch screen things that you have all the board games electronically on it. So she arrived home and went, yeah, no, I think you have to move that out to the man cave. And I went, okay.
Sure.
Done.
Now, I would say, in fairness to myself, I did ask this very question.
Yeah, you did.
I saw it was in the screen room, and I questioned it because I was like, And then I'm like, has Judith come home yet?
Yeah. So it lasted maybe an hour and a half when Judith arrived home. But yes, she says typical on the way from the airport because Jasmine's going, we've got a surprise for you. We've got a new thing. So on the way from the airport, of course, it was and typical. We just have to talk about these things. It's like that flipping time you got the projector. We just mentioned it, and then 2 days later it all arrived. So yeah, okay.
Impulsive,
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So
well, exciting stuff. That I love it personally. I'm very envious.
It's cool.
I would love one of those tables. It
Nice
will
to hear.
never, unless I get a bigger house, that will not happen.
It just feels very special playing it on those types of controls. I was playing Donkey Kong earlier on and Galaxian and going through a few of them, and there's just something special about that sort of old format. Rather than you can do it with a gamepad and an emulator, MAME emulator and stuff like that. And
now we lost Pete.
we lost Pete.
Oh, hell.
And my head you've got my forehead now. It's classic.
And I'm Greg.
Yeah. Pete, you still there?
I love it.
Carry on.
I wanted to know if it reeked of weed, though.
It did, yes. So I did bring it home, and I took the glass top off it, and as well because there was some. It is immaculate, but it was a bit grub. So I unscrewed the glass top and cleaned underneath it and cleaned the screen and then sterilized everything around it, and so
you had to think that there were many a Cheeto fest getting high night playing some Donkey Kong.
Dear. Anyway, he's probably I haven't funded his drug habit. I don't even think it was his. I think it was his son's. So God bless his son. I'm sorry, son.
All right. Well, speaking of, this is a nice segue. I actually started watching the series High Score on Netflix, which is kind of talking about the gaming industry, but in particular, kind of that retro period of arcade and 8-bit games as they kind of made their way into the U.S. and the Nintendo NES and all that good stuff. So enjoying that. I want to say it came out 3-4 years back, so it's been out for a while. But if you haven't seen it before, it's a good, nostalgic, informative view into the video game industry from back then. You're not going to get a lot of modern. I think as far as the most modern thing they've mentioned so far was Skyrim, and they didn't really even talk too much about Skyrim. So
there was quite a few of those. Is this another new one again? Is it?
I don't know if it's a new one or not, but they were talking about the.
What was it?
This episode in particular was talking about the origins of the RPG game.
Oh,
and
what's it called again? Sorry.
High Score.
Oh yeah, I've watched it. Yeah, that was a very good series. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, and while I was excited for the RPG episode, I did find it odd that they spent so long talking about the gay RPG that was made by this guy in San Francisco. It was just like, okay,
Fuck
I mean,
off.
you can mention it, but I mean, you're making it sound like the entire concept of RPGs came from this guy. It's like, no.
Fucking sick.
Anyway, I also started watching the Jack Ryan series. So the new season is supposedly the final season for Jack Ryan. So far, so good. Little predictable on one hand, although it was a nice little twist to it, which I liked. So far, so good. And Pete says his internet died. I'll reboot the modem. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to adjust I'm not going to adjust the cameras just in case he comes back. So you can watch my.
All right. No cameras adjusted. You will look at foreheads and chins and.
There's three of us in. There's three of us in picture now. Just there. A lot of face. You can FaceTime.
Now.
Yeah. That's
Kim,
cool.
Yes.
You watched one of my favorite movies from last year. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Actually, I watched it a while back, and we got talking about other things, and then I promptly, I just didn't mention it. But yes, I watched Dungeons and Dragons here recently, and I enjoyed it very much. As a matter of fact, I need to go back and watch it again because I liked it just that much. So
I want to give it a rewatch. Surprisingly good Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yes.
Faithful to D&D, and yet not in an ultra nerdy way. It was fun popcorn movie. Yeah, good humor.
I enjoyed it very much. So, if you haven't seen it, I hardly recommend it. I recommend it. I'll say it again, because it was really, really good. And I mean, even I was a little skeptical with Hugh Grant being in it. I don't know why, but I just was. And he did a really good job. They all did. So, like I said, I enjoyed it. So.
All right. There you go. Recommendation from Kim, Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Go see it.
I watched a film while Judith was away called Page 8. And it has Page 8. There he's coming back.
Okay.
And it's Bill Nye, not the science guy, but Bill Nye, as
That's
in
the only Bill Nye I know.
Yeah, so Bill Nye was in lots of movies.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Love Actually. If you remember the film Love Actually, and there was the old rocker, who was, he had passed his best, and he had re-released the Christmas single, and this is Bill Nye. But Page 8 is a very serious drama. He actually won Oscars or nominations for this, and it tells a story of he works for an MI5 or a branch of MI5, and his boss is his friend who went to college. They're older guys, and it's about this report that was done saying that the Americans had been up to no good whatsoever with all these dark sites, torturing people and the whole premise of the English Secret Services, like, let them do that, but we'll ignore it, and we don't want to know the details, but we know what's going on. But in this report at the bottom of Page 8, it says, and the Prime Minister knew all about this. And he was the only one that knew about this. And his friend gets ill, and he has the moral dilemma of what should he do? What should he do? He has to follow it through. And living across from him in his apartment is Rachel Weisz from many a movie as well. From she's beautiful now. Even though she is older, beautiful. The Mummy, the love interest in The Mummy, the girl, and lots of really good. She's Palestinian. Her brother was killed, and of course he's now under investigation because it's just. Is it coincidence that she's just there, or she is a shoe-in? Anyway, it's not. There's no real car chases in it. There's nothing really fast in it. It's just fabulous dialogue. Really good movie.
Psychological drama.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So Page 8. I actually messaged Phil because it's right up Phil's street as well. So yeah, it's a really good watch. Now, I did notice there now that the Lincoln Lawyer 2 second season is now out and available.
I need to watch that. I loved the movie The Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah. The series is very good too.
Seen the
series is very good.
The series good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's rough. Right. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
And what else? So I bought that table. We'll get to the other stuff as we go along, I suppose. Stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you need? Yeah, I'll get to that in the gaming section because that. Yeah, and some for those that are interested, some normality has arrived in the Tate household once again. So it's been a much better week.
That is good. Speaking of
Um,
normality,
Yeah.
Kim, it's the beginning of the month.
I know, right? I missed it
We
last
skipped
weekend.
past this last week. Yeah.
I know, right? We'll have to fix that.
Oh
All right.
yeah. Pussy
It's,
time.
Pussy
Pussy time.
Pussy and picks. So I had to think about that for a second. We have Ben and Sketch this week. Or this month,
Ben
I
and
guess.
Sketch. Pete, what do you
I
think of
don't-
Sketch?
I don't know.
He could not be bothered. He's on his phone. He doesn't care about Ben or Sketch.
He looks like he has a tiny. He looks like he's about 5'1".
He does look tiny, doesn't he?
He does. He's got a tiny head. He's like
Yeah.
like one of those wee kid baby bodybuilders.
But not
Oh,
even the
there you
bodybuilder part, because I'm not
Oh.
feeling the bodybuilder part.
Oh, we were given a house this week as well. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Oh, well. There you go.
Yeah,
Anyway.
up on the north coast for a week.
I don't
The-
think
Yeah.
he's a favorite, Kim. I think this
I
is a
don't-
disappointing month.
And it's my birthday month on top of that, so I figure pain.
Yeah. So
Given a
well.
house.
yeah.
let's hear this. You
Through
were given a
Judith
house.
through Love Sharon Foster, we were approached and we were given a 5-bedroom house on a big sea view for a couple of weeks up in the north coast. For
Was this the castle house that you showed us?
no, it's just it's a house, a beautiful big 5-bedroom house that we can use for if we want to go up for a few days for a break or holiday. So there's a rake of the families are already up there. Probably Judith will take Jasmine and crew up and spend a few days. So I think this to hire this house out, I think it's about £3,500 a week.
Wow.
Shit.
So a nice little gift gifted to the Fosters.
very nice.
Fosters. So that's
It would
that
have
was
been
nice.
nicer if they gave you the actual deed, but okay, whatever.
Yeah. Hey, beggars can't be
When you
choosers.
said- when you
Beggars.
give it a house, I'm like, well, this is kind of big.
Beggar, yeah. I just forgot about that one. I just got a house. Yeah. No, it's not that way. No.
All right. I suppose we could talk about some video games.
Jesus, Kim, that was a massive drink. What are you drinking there?
It's my circle water bottle thing.
Is it like a
so-
30-liter tank?
Yeah, it's 32.
Shall we play a game?
I want to play a game.
You are one pathetic loser.
Yeah, Pete. You're one pathetic loser.
Pete admiring your giant blue cylinder, Kim.
Yep.
Uh,
You know.
That's massive.
I'm just trying to work out what else didn't switch on. What else didn't switch on when the power came back? Because that was the sound effects were in a weird way there. So, anyway.
All right, let's talk video games. Pete, let's talk. What have you been playing? It sounds like you actually have got some gaming in.
Oh, well, I didn't actually play it myself, but I watched Leo play it and I helped him along. So we fired up. Finally, I've managed to convince him to play another game, Hogwarts Legacy.
Excellent.
Now, I'm really like blown away. I wasn't expecting it to be as big as it is, but it's like
That's what she said.
Just yeah.
We just saw the
God.
blue cylinder. Come on.
Why do I just line myself up for these things? It's a fantastic like role playing immersive like action game. It's very open world. I didn't think it would be. It's almost like Assassin's Creed Valhalla with how big that was and all the side missions and stuff.
Right.
I just didn't think it'd be as big as that, but it seems like it's going that way.
It's
We've played
big.
for
Really
about-
big.
Yeah.
It is, man. We played for
Now,
like
now,
4
can I
hours.
ask,
Yeah.
like basic story question? Because I really don't know the basic stories to Hogwarts Legacy. I assume you're not playing as Harry Potter. So
No.
what is
It's-
the basic idea here?
So it's based in the 1800s, and I believe this is over 100 years before before Harry Potter. And
Oh.
I don't think you've all into meeting
BHP.
into any of the characters or whatever. So yeah,
Okay.
before Harry Potter, BHP, and you just play as well. You design your own character. We've played as a male
Okay.
in our game, and you get taken to Hogwarts, but on the way something happens, and I don't want to spoil it. There's like spoilers straight from the start, but you get
Okay,
taken
well-
to Hogwarts, and then you start to befriend one of the professors, and you have to do all different missions to find out to unplug what happened on the way.
Okay.
to
So
the
you're
Hogwarts.
solving a
It's
mystery, so to speak.
kind of, and I'd
Okay.
imagine it'll probably turn 1,000 times into a different bunch of things. But like I say, we only played for 4 hours, and the intro was really, really cool, which is where this thing happened. And like I say, I don't want to spoil it, but something happens, and you're subject to it, along with the professor and somebody else, and it involves you then having to unpick the mystery in the Hogwarts environment. And when you get to Hogwarts, it's kind of linear at first. You follow these few certain tasks, and then once you've done those, then the open world scenario kind of kicks in then within the Hogwarts environment, and it's
It's very pretty,
Leo
isn't it?
plays the
It
game.
is very pretty.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
great. I'm watching it on screen right now. I will say the character on screen very much reminds me of like a Harry Potter like character.
I mean, you could choose between wizard and witch. I'm sure
Okay.
it is. Yeah, wizard and witch. I think we went with
Do
witch.
you have to pick a house?
Yes,
Like House Dumbledore and other. I'm not a Harry Potter person, so I don't know.
yes. You get a selection of 4 houses. I don't want to spoil too much, but you get a selection
Okay.
of 4 houses, and each of them have got certain traits, behavior traits, certain mission types, and certain things where you think, oh, I think I'd like. Oh, it goes with like certain behaviors like loyal and trustworthy, open and honest. And I
Funny.
think we went down those lines. There's
I'm
some that
looking
are
at-
very sinister.
I'm looking at the clips on screen right now. I'm going through the Sweetie shop. And if you've ever been lucky
Okay.
enough to get to Hogwarts at Universal Studios, the Sweetie shop is just like that.
Yep.
Just exactly like that.
Well, I mean, graphically, it's just a stunning game. You get the choice of picking enhanced graphics and whether you want that beauty within the game, or it's performance during battles and stuff like that. But there's heaps of options that you got on the way before you actually start the game, and we kind of picked the very easy route, so something very story driven. A lot of things presented to you as far as the story is concerned, and making it a very easy journey because
Okay.
Leo's playing it basically. So he picked a very easy journey. He wanted a graphical performance, and by God, you get that. I mean, I'm playing this on PS5, and it was just seamless. We've had no trouble whatsoever. No,
All right,
no jerkiness in the graphics. It's
Real quick.
Yeah.
Let's do like a poll amongst us, and obviously, chat if you want to chime in, go ahead. So when you are given the choice,
Yeah.
performance mode versus quality mode,
Yeah.
what do you typically default to? And I'll start with you, Pete. Obviously, you guys went to quality mode for this game, but what do you typically do? Do you prefer performance, higher frame rate, or do you like all the visual bells and whistles?
visual for me.
Okay, all right.
Really
so
has to
you're-
be. I think I'd just edge my bets in the performance still being good as well as delivering that quality image. That's what I'll try and edge for when I play Gears or anything like that. That's what I tend to go for.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Kim, what about you? If you were given the choice, performance mode, quality mode, and then obviously this is if you think performance mode at least 60 frames or higher, or quality mode. Likely you're under 60 frames, but you're getting more of the visual bells and whistles. What do you like?
Well, I'm gonna have to say quality because you get games like The Witcher 3, or like Diablo now, even for as muddy and dirty as Diablo actually is, but it looks really. I mean, gameplay it looks really good. So, and that's kind of the way it is with The Witcher. You've got all the bright colors and the monsters and all that stuff, and it looks really good. So I guess I'm more for looks than performance, which sounds funny, but there you go. So,
All right.
yeah.
Robin, now I think this is going to be an interesting one because in your racing rig, obviously you gear it towards probably higher frame rates, but I'm curious, what is your preference if push comes to shove?
Well, man, if you're talking about sex, definitely quality over looks, because sometimes it doesn't have to
One
look great.
quality, push
It
in
doesn't
depth,
have to look
yes.
great, but you really that person really knows what they're doing. So quality says a lot, and probably for gameplay as well. I am I mean I have the racing rig set up as fast as I can go without, but it does look very pretty. But I don't give it a lot of thought, to be honest with you. If it looks good, could I get it looking better? Probably. Do I pay that much heed? No.
No.
Okay.
If it looks
Fair
good and good enough to me, I'm running this in 1080p, probably 30 frames per second on the stream right now, and that looks all right. What I'm looking at on the stream right now looks pretty good. I'd play that. So
Right.
you can get caught up on it, and the PC people
Yeah.
especially.
Right.
I gravitate towards quality settings, but the caveat is if it is a game that feels a little clunky or chunky in terms of how it runs, then I would try to go towards performance mode. But typically speaking, I'm kind of with you guys. I like the bells and whistles. I like
Yeah,
seeing,
it's nice.
if ray tracing is an option, to have that on and just have those little things. They don't always make the world of difference, but I just like having them on.
I think that's a good point, Greg, when you said about the type of game you're playing. Now, if you're playing something like Fallout, for instance, now I think Bethesda have been pretty consistent in their quality of game when it comes to Fallout. You don't expect this massive, like, graphical, like, magnificent game when it comes to Fallout. I always find that performance is probably better because the bigger the explosions, the more action that goes on, the more the more distorted your game becomes. So I'll probably go for performance for that. But when you've got something like Hogwarts and you've got wizardry or witch spells, and there's a lot of theatrical scenery around that game, I think visuals are just by far the best option to pick. And you've got no option to pick something when you play this game. You have to pick something. So it's not like, Robin says he plays this game and he tends to just go with what suits him on his racing game. With this game, you're forced down a route where you have to pick something on the way.
Yeah,
So-
you pick the best you can, and if it runs, great, and if it doesn't, you knock it down a bit. But you don't get
I
too
think
upset
that
about
is
it.
one of the benefits of PC gaming, and also a downside to it, is that you can tweak so many different things to try and get your performance better. And in console gaming, the whole idea of console gaming is to make it simplistic. So they typically give you pre-baked options of here's what performance is going to do, here's what quality is going to do.
I just bought an arcade table with Donkey Kong on it, and I think it looks fabulous. So,
Ah,
And the thing is, with the Hogwarts Legacy, it is. I'm starting to get to that open world section of the game where exploration is the thing that you're pretty much open to do. And the only trouble with doing that with a game that size is that you get caught up with other people there stopping you and asking you things. So it kind of reminds me of GTA in a way, where people are stopping you when you're on the sidewalk or you're getting out your car and they're like, "Oh, excuse me, could you help me with this thing?" Or, "Hey, I'm in trouble, help me out." And
Right.
you want to gravitate to go and help this person. And my son is exactly the same as I am when he's playing a video game. Right, with our attention span is so is so subjective to what's going on in that moment. So we could be on a mission, and then all of a sudden, somebody jumps out and says, "Hey, I need help," and like because of his conscious being to wanting to help people, and I'm the same. I just want I'll steer off the main mission, and I'll go on this side mission then, which could take forever, and I kind of feel that this Hogwarts Legacy is doing the same thing. It reminds me of like God of War stroke GTA within a Hogwarts environment, but it's fabulous, man.
Well,
It's an amazing game.
It always does kind of crack me up when you start to think about the story narrative of these games, and it's like, you are here, you're saving the world from hell taking over and the entire world, but I'm going to stop and help this guy round up 20 chickens.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So the mission, we were on, we were trying to find this book and some information as to where this book's come from and who has ownership of this book. And we ended in this side mission where somebody wanted us to find just these small orbs, and I think there were about 12 of them. So it was pretty much the same type of thing. And we just got sidetracked and started looking for those. And even in that, right, there's staircases in the towers that you go up, and that they disappear and reappear when you go downstairs and go upstairs. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just done so perfectly. And there's these books as well that float around, and you have to collect them as well that help. I believe it's your spells. I believe it's your spells. And as soon as you see one of these books flying away, because they fly everywhere, they do. You're going around following those. If you've got a short attention span, it's probably the worst game that you could ever play. But it's fantastic. For the time that we've played it, I'm going to say Leo's played it, and I've watched it now from the long. It's 4 hours, and we've really loved it. We haven't had time to play it this week, so we'll probably have a go. The next time I see him. Fingers crossed. But it's fantastic.
Yeah, we've really had a great year of games so far. You have to you think back, and Hogwarts. That was really hard for me to say.
That's what you
Hogwarts
said.
Legacy started off the year. I mean, and I don't think anybody thought it was going to be as good as it has been. And that just led into a lot of other good games so far, and we still have another half a year to go.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Robin, I see something different from your normal Ascetta Corsi Competizione Pizzeria
Kitty
game.
lasagna.
Yeah, I had Jasmine out here, and she is getting a bit curious now. She's still a little bit young for the controller in the hand, but we did put on Viva Pinata, and she watched, and I played, and I continued to play, and thumped things, and thumped the ground, and had sex with worms, and more worms, and
Wow.
and I bred worms, and Viva Pinata was such a class little game. Just lovely. I played Viva Pinata, and I did it streaming because it's the future. And
Of course.
yeah, I enjoyed my Viva Pinata time, and it brought back great memories of songs and stuff like that there, and the interlude, and what the hell was that about? Yeah.
You like Viva Pinata?
Yeah, you remember? God, what's he
Yeah.
at? So yeah, Jasmine and I played Viva Pinata. It was good fun. We also played that other one that you've been playing, Pete. She likes to watch it, playing the Falling Down, your little races. You have the races.
All guys.
Fall Guys. It's great fun. It is very, very good. Yeah, even the way the in between when you sort of, it's the little collection of Matchbox cars, and then people who die fall out of it, sort of thing. And are you still in it? And the little upgrades and getting sunglasses and all that stuff. Yeah, that's it's like a little pellet that gives you every time that you go into it. So yeah. So racing wise, it's the start of a new season, and I also ordered this week this thing called a DDU, and it's a DDU. So I at one time I had a little mobile phone that was connected up, and it was an extra dashboard that you could have in front of it. But I ordered this thing as coming from America, and it's another little screen which sits on top of your your wheel, and the chap Constas makes this lovely dashboard, and you can have a customized dashboard with all extra information on it. So this thing has an aluminium frame. It has LEDs all around the outside, and then you can put on whatever dashboard that you want onto it. So it's and this is a nice piece of kit that's coming. So I also ordered that when she was away. So
dear,
team,
Robin.
team, when do we need to have an intervention?
It needs to happen.
I also ordered I was having issues with USB cameras, and because I was using so many, I was having issues with USB. And the way I've learned quite a bit about USB. So you on your back of your PC, you may have maybe 6 USB slots, maybe more, maybe less, and maybe 2 or 3 of those share one channel. Okay. So even though you have 6 or 7, you'll have USB 2s and 3s probably. Some of those ports could be sharing. So if you have several cameras in there trying to share the pipe of information, and I had bought an extra PCI card a while back, and I didn't research it that much. It was 30 quid. It didn't do the job because it gave you 4 USB-Cs, but they were all sharing one channel, which is just, it might as well just pointless.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of research, and I ordered a good one. And
How much was the good one?
Oh boy.
it was into the 3 figures.
What?
So-
Are you kidding me?
So
Really?
this has it's
The
a
price was a good one.
it's a StarTech 4-port USB 3 card with 4 dedicated 5 gigabyte channels. So that has sorted that out completely, that problem with bandwidth for the USB cameras. Because what was happening is I was coming out here and switching on, and one of the cameras wouldn't come on, and you had to fiddle about, reinstall it, and do all that. And I was it's a time thing. It's what you need to do, you know. That's it. Anyway, so racing wise, then, there's a new season starting. Brand new. So we took part in this week. I was invited to a summer special with my friend Konstas out in Greece. He runs a channel called Lovely Sim Racing, and he is the guy that also makes this dashboard. And it was the first time he had ever had a big event like this. There was a lot of people at it, all different skill levels, and it was in the wet, and it was in the dark, and it was tough. I think he thought it was going to be funny. Because a lot of people, when you start this, generally you don't go near wet, and you definitely don't go near dark. And he threw a whole pile of newbies into dark and wet who had no experience whatsoever, and it was chaos. I think it was 38 people in the race, something crazy in one of the races.
38 wrecks.
But we had some fantastic racing on the screen now. I had this fantastic race with this guy here and another McLaren, and we raced for 4 or 5 laps, really, really hard, and I got past him on merit. And I made this little video about racecraft and how my race. I couldn't have done this a year ago. There's no way I could have pressured this guy, drove so close, pressured him, and sold him a dummy, and made him make a mistake. And it's just nice to see that progress. Now on that screen there, you'll see my heart rate. Oh, it's just cut off the screen. But at this moment in time, when I'm chasing this guy, my heart rate's at 126 beats per minute. And it goes up to about 134 as you get close and overtake him. So tomorrow or at midnight tonight, the brand new season 11 starts in LFM. They have changed some nice rules. They've added some after race penalties for time. One of the big bugbears is that if somebody crashes into you and you get binned and they carry on, they may get a penalty of what they call their ELO or their overall score, but they may go on and win the race, even though they've killed your race and you're out. So now that they're going to do after race, it's a lot more work for LFM, but they're going to do after race reviews if you put a complaint in, and it'll be time penalties. So 2 days after the race, that first guy who didn't care about his overall score, but he was worried about the championship score, will all pop down the rating. So it's a big thing. So looking forward to that. So that's it. So we're in Donington Park this week. We've had some good community racing training. We had a good community event out at Mount Panorama in Australia this week, which was chaos. Of course, I had a few problems with my wheel. I have to thank Andy. I had another USB issue there that when I switched on my wheel, my mouse just went everywhere, just all over the place, and it has happened one time before. And what it turned out to be was this one of the guys, Andy, he's a tech head, support IT in one of the business that he works for, and he suggested getting this little download this program, Robin. And what it does, it looks at all of the USB devices you've ever connected to that PC, go in, and it'll show you all the ones that are active and all the ones that are dead. Highlight all the ones that are dead, delete them. And if that doesn't work, disconnect everything about from keyboard and mouse. And as soon as I did that and got rid of the old dead USB stuff, because how you describe it to me is when you plug in USB, it always remembers it. So when you plug in something new, sometimes Windows doesn't remember that it's not there anymore. So so as soon as I did that, and such a handy free little program, and just cleaned out all the dead USBs there. My heartbeat's up to 130. I think this is the 131. I think this is the lap I overtake him here. Yeah, it is. So looking forward to that this season. We have an event coming up in September with 3 different communities, and we had a meeting last week with the 3 different communities. Gotta say a big shout out to Jamie from Red Ken Racing. He's struggling at the moment, just with health and stress, and he's taken a little step back from racing. Not he'd be a streamer as well.
You gotta do that.
I think part of the problem is with guys like me that do this part time, and you're trying to perform like the guys who don't do it part time. Some people can enjoy it and still make mistakes, and some people make mistakes and can't enjoy it.
Wrecks their day. Yeah.
Wrecks their day. And I think Jamie has to work out how he deals with that part of things. So we're in touch, and we give him support. So mental health is a bugger of a thing.
Huge, absolutely huge. Speaking of mental health, Kim,
Yes.
you've been playing Vampire Survivors. You have been trying to tackle one of the more daunting tasks in the game.
Yes.
How are we progressing with that?
Not very well. But that's okay. There's other stuff to do because, there's other things like, what is it, play 15 minutes with a certain character, and, there's all that checklist of things they give you to do. So I'm kind of ticking some of those off, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm still trying to see how high, the levels I can get, because I want to see if I can beat my, 125 or whatever it was that I got before. So I don't know. I'm still enjoying it. It still kind of scratches an itch, I guess. So
it's also, and we talked about this earlier, the comment of palate cleanser came up.
Right.
Vampire Survivors is a great palate cleanser game. It doesn't take a lot of thought. You just go in and you can be a little bit mindless to it, but it's still enjoyable, and it absolutely gives you that break from some of these more hardcore, thought-provoking games, so to speak.
Exactly. So, speaking of which, still plugging away at Diablo, so I'm now
Let's talk
on...
about Diablo.
Yeah, I'm now in Act 3, so I'm at the dry steps, and boy, aren't they dry. Sorry, I've been waiting to do that all weekend. So...
Diablo 4. We actually got some co-op in yesterday with Mark. We dragged you out as well. Yeah, it was a good time. Well, I was shocked at how easy everything was with us, the 3 of us rolling through there was not one moment I think we ever truly felt like we were being pressed.
Right.
And I was... That actually shocks me a little bit, because this game is really good about scaling to your level. And so everything should be equivalent levels. But I have kind of noticed that I am rolling through dungeons now quite easily. I'm level 45. I haven't hit 50 even yet.
Right.
But there's really not been one time, and I played even more after we got done with our co-op session. I'm not feeling challenged right now. It's kind of a good thing in that I'm getting that feeling of just being able to walk in and just, you will bend to my will kind of moments.
Mm-hmm.
But also I fear that if this continues, the game is going to start to feel, kind of a little samey in that, it's just kind of repeat and rinse. So the saving grace has been the story. I also finished Act 2.
That's
really
all
enjoyed
the story.
the finale to Act 2 was fantastic.
Right.
And so that's actually one of the things about Diablo 4 I really like a lot is the story.
Yeah.
They support it a lot with both CGI cutscenes as well as some really good in-game cutscenes. And then, so actually, there's 3 different types of scenes they use. So there's just in-game. So you're walking along as your character, third-person view, drawn back, and you'll stop and you'll talk to characters, and there'll be back and forth dialogue that happens kind of in a cutscene like moment where they kind of take away control, and so you're just having that back and forth conversation.
Right.
And then they have other cutscenes that are using in-game assets, but they are absolutely kind of on that more CGI cutscene level. So the Act 2 part of that was very much that way.
Right.
It felt like you were really kind of not watching CGI, but you were watching in-game cutscenes, and then they have absolute CGI cutscenes.
I'm just watching a
Similar to
man
what-
being eaten by dogs
Oh, yeah, it's
It happens.
pretty gruesome.
Right.
and a woman whose
Uh,
dress looks like its hands covering her boobs.
Yep, that's
Yep.
Lilith.
That's Lilith.
Everybody
Yeah.
loves Lilith.
Oh, sure.
So it's quite well done. And I'm very intrigued by the story, and that I think is what's helping me get through some of the
That's gross.
more mundaneness of some of the combat.
Like killing goatmen 300,000 times.
Oh, good
Yeah.
God. Yes.
Right?
Yes. And then respawning. That's actually probably the one of the things that pisses me off more than anything. As I went into a dungeon, I did it this morning. I cleared it out. I walked out of the dungeon, and all of the goatmen I had recently killed were back. And I had
I
to wade through
know.
them to get
Oh my
to
God.
something that was just around the corner. But
It's annoying,
it's
isn't
a
it?
small quip. It's annoying. It's
Am I-
annoying, but it's not a deal breaker by any stretch.
And,
Still
you
a
know,
great game. And talk about pellet feeding. This game has so much loot.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we did good
Um,
actually yesterday. So I found a couple of we got a couple of legendaries
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on, and yeah, I got some more aspects for stuff that wasn't up to where I was at because I've now hit level 50. So that's interesting. And we met the butcher, which I'm
We
glad
did
you
meet the
guys
butcher.
was there because that fucker towards the end would not leave me alone for nothing.
I know.
So
We're in the game. So just to paint the scene, we are after this character called the Butcher. We're trying to kill him, and he literally is chasing Kim's character around the screen. I mean, all over the place.
I
And Kim
know,
is
I couldn't
running
get away
like
from him.
crazy to try and get away. I am hitting this guy from the back, trying to get his attention. He is just focused on killing Kim. Something you said, Kim, when you walked in the room must have pissed him off greatly.
either that or he just likes my leather pants. I'm not sure which because I'm telling you what, I was getting pants left and right yesterday.
That is one. I mean, I love the loot on one hand,
Right,
but I wish it was just more meaningful and like half as much,
right.
because you get so much shit, and it's just you end up marking it all as junk, and you end up selling it or basically melting it down to
Crafting materials,
scrap it.
yeah.
But it just I kind of wish there wasn't as much, because you halfway through this dungeon I'm like, I need to go back to town because I
Yeah.
cannot pick anything more up anymore.
Right.
Um,
But you don't want to leave any of it behind either because,
Exactly.
You can do
because
stuff with
everything
it.
costs
so-
money, and
Right.
it was funny because we were laughing. Mark's like, how much gold do you guys have? And I think I had like 350,000 gold pieces. And we went back to town, and I upgraded a bunch of stuff, and
Yep.
I was down to like 50,000
Yep.
in
same
like
here.
a nanosecond. So
Yep. And then Mark's over there. Well, I'm not saying anything then because I've got several million. I'm like, you know what?
yeah.
Don't
Fuck
brag. Can we take a loan out at the Federal Bank of Mark or what?
Exactly. He didn't
Right?
offer to give us any.
I
did
know,
notice
right?
that.
And you can do that. So
Yeah.
anyway, Diablo, it's still good. So
So
Yeah.
does it live up to its expectation? I mean, there was a few doubts when this game first came out. Is there any doubt now?
Not
are
for
you
me.
guys
So,
like
no.
no.
It's good.
I
It's
mean,
really
unless
good.
the story just like suddenly falls off a cliff,
Yeah.
then maybe. But from what I've heard from people that have completed it already, that does not happen. So
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm good with
I
it.
don't know how much I'm going to be like into it after I complete the campaign.
right,
I may fall off of it at that point, but I mean, getting to Act 3 and through it. I mean, I've put in a ton of hours so far. I'm at level 45, and I've enjoyed all my moments with it for the most part.
Right.
So, I think
Putting 100 hours into this game.
I don't know how many hours. Probably. I mean, I think about it. For every level, probably 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up on True Achievements and see, because it would tell me how many hours I've
Yeah.
got into it. So
I've sunk quite a bit in.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Real quick, multiplayer updates. Kim, I know you're playing some Call of Duty multiplayer. I'm assuming
I
with
did.
Boomer.
Yes, but yeah, and then this weekend it's double XP. So I'm trying to rank up because my nephew Tony, the little shit that he is like 104, and so every time he levels up, he has to rub my nose into it. So we were playing this weekend, trying to get me leveled up. I think I'm on 91. I think so. I'm getting there. So yeah, it's good fun. I mean, we pretty much only play shipment 24/7 if it's available, because it's quick and you get in, you get out, and you go again. And I'm now running around with a shotgun, so that pisses people off. Nothing makes people
You're one
worse.
of those.
Yeah. Well,
Uh-huh.
they've got the people on there with the knives and the riot shields. Fuck those people. Eat shotgun. So
Real quickly, we do have a question. I want to get to it before I forget.
Right.
Corazon asked, how does it compare to Diablo 3? I think
It's
visually it is much better looking. Gameplay wise, I think Diablo 3 had less scaling, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
So this game, everything scales all the time to your level. So you're never going to feel, if you're just like level based, that you are in an area that's way under your level or way over your level.
Right.
It's always going to be within 1 to 2 levels of you. And so that is definitely different. But the story and the visuals of this game, I think they dwarf Diablo 3. I don't think Diablo 3 holds a candle to it in that respect.
Exactly. So it's good. It's worth
Hang on.
the $100 I spent on it. So
Wow.
I know.
Oh, Mike Chin came in talking nonsense about being in another podcast. Blah 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 blah. Fuck that guy. Okay. What were we just gonna talk
Aliens
about?
Dark Descent.
Halo.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not quite yet.
Right.
We're just gonna say Halo. Robert did not join us this week, and we
Oh, it's all
lost
his fault.
quite a few matches. We blame him, sort of. He actually had a valid excuse. His poor dog went to the vet. It was pretty touch and go, but
Ouch.
the good news is doggy came home,
That's
and
good.
so things are looking up. So we give him a pass. But yeah, Aliens Dark Descent. Let's talk about it. This is a game I have been super excited for. I put it on my wish list. I was thinking, okay, I've got Diablo 4 going. I've got Miasma Chronicles going. I probably don't need to buy this. I'll just hold off. I'll hold off. That lasted 2 days, and then I bought it.
Thank you very much. Love it.
Yeah, it is so good. So where to start? The opening cinematic on this game, you want to talk about something that feels like an Aliens game or Aliens movie. The start of this game just delivers in spades. It's awesome.
I could give you one.
No. you cannot. But the premise of this game is you are part of I don't want to spoil anything. I'll be good. But you control a squad of alien colonial marines that were based on the ship Ortega. A series of events, which is part of a really fantastic tutorial that teaches you how to play the game. And it probably takes, I don't know, a good hour to get through that tutorial, but it's really well done. And the tutorial kind of continues on even into kind of the new game. And that doesn't do a good job of explaining it, but just trust me. You'll play through that opening tutorial, and then it will shift a little bit because then you get into the squad mechanics side of things. But they give you a really fantastic setup and lead up as to why you're on this planet. The planet, as far as I can tell, was not inhabited by aliens, but aliens are introduced to this planet that has a number of colonies on it. And you are basically, trying to quell the alien uprising that is taking over. how it controls. This is a combination of XCOM and Full Spectrum Warrior. So Full Spectrum Warrior is a call out back to the original Xbox that was a game developed by the Army that would basically use squad tactics of cover and move. And in fact, if your team member got hurt, you had to pick that team member up and carry him back. And so that's what kind of I'm reminded of when I'm playing this game, because you don't control individual characters. You control your squad and their movements, and then you give them tactical commands. So if I am going through a doorway, I can say, weld that door shut. And one of my squad teams, or, one of the squad members in the team will peel off, and you'll see them start welding the door shut. And it takes a little bit of time. They weld it shut, and then suddenly that's a secure, door. The aliens can break through it, just like in the movie, but it takes them much longer. And so you then could set up suppressing fire on the doorway. So when they come through the doorway, you're really focus your fire on the doorway. You can launch grenades. And again, you're giving a command to your squad to launch a grenade in an area, and they will individually do it, or one or more may act on that. Other things, if a squad member gets downed, they can have a hurt leg. It affects how fast they can walk. So you have the option of carrying them. You can heal them, which will then allow them to walk fast and keep up with the group. I literally had a squad member get his leg taken off. And I was just like, oh shit. So, firemen carrying that guy back, and then suddenly that squad member is now having to use his pistol. He's no longer able to use his rifle. So, it changes the dynamics of the game. It looks great. It is hard as fuck. Pardon my language. This game is balls hard. And so I would say to this, anybody looking to play this, start on the easy story mode. I tried starting it up on normal, and my squad was wiped out within like a first hallway. So I've been playing it on the story mode. And then the other thing that you can do is whenever you're using your skills, it slows down time. So kind of like, I think Bad Company 3 does this, where it slows things down. So the aliens start moving at like half speed towards you, and you can make a decision. In the settings, it gives you the option of making that a pause. And so then it starts to play much more like XCOM. And so you can actually make your tactical decisions without having the freak out of, oh, it's still coming at me. And then from the XCOM side of it, beyond just the squad tactics, there is a whole management side of it. So you're upgrading through workshops of creating more equipment. So, you start off with your pulse rifle with a grenade launcher and pistols, but you can create mines, you can create smart guns, all the gear that they use in the Aliens movies, you can have and create and upgrade. They have a sentry gun, which is fantastic, but you got to remember to pick it up and take it with you. Otherwise, you'll lose it. They have an APC, which is awesome. So you leave a building and you jump into the APC, and then you can tell it to, they're basically different spots you can pick on the map to have your APC travel your squad to it. And as you do that, the APC drives around, and if an alien comes out, it shoots the aliens. Just fun little things like that. They're just great homages to the movies. And also some of the things, like you always wanted to see the APC in the Aliens movie actually shooting at aliens because it had the big guns but they never did. This game does it. So I am just smitten with this game. I absolutely enjoying it. And it has been a really good palate cleanser to Diablo for me.
It does look difficult. And when you compare it to like Gears Tactics, when you're looking after one character, or maybe moving one character and considering maybe one or two others when you're making that move, it's got to be less difficult than managing a whole squad that are just throwing themselves forward that does look difficult, to be honest.
So and that's where the pause screen helps. So if you go to the skill menu, it pauses things. It helps.
But it looks a lot faster than Gears Tactics.
It is much faster.
Yeah.
It is definitely faster than Gears Tactics from that standpoint. I can't tell what Robin has put on screen, but I see some kind of bottle somewhere. Anyway, it is faster in that regard, Pete, and that's why I say change those settings to pause on skill use. It stops
Yeah.
time, allows you
Yeah.
to make your choices, so you can lay down that suppressing fire. You can make those calls
Yeah.
to weld a door, whatever, and it won't. You're not going to feel the rush or the panic.
It
Yeah.
does look good.
It is good.
Kim, is that like a 32-liter bottle that you've got?
I know your big blue cylinder, Kim. It's just on screen.
I know. I think it's getting bigger.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Kim, is that a 64-liter bottle that you got
Are you just pleased to see me?
Right?
there?
Sorry.
Anyway, so that's Aliens Dark Descent. The story is good. Visually speaking, it looks great. It feels Aliens. If you like that universe and you like an XCOM game, I would definitely say it should be on your watch list for sure.
That's cool.
And that is it for me. So we can talk about some quick news, Robin.
Here is the fucking news.
Would you believe it? We're still waiting on the judge. The judge is holding things up and he's yet to make a ruling, but it's anticipated any time now. Yeah, okay. And given the urgency of the expiration of the merger deal, which was originally set for July the 18th. So we're still, for Microsoft, Sony, blah, 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 Activision, blah, blah, we're still waiting.
In theory, I think a lot of people are anticipating the judge is going to file the decision tonight at some point.
Huh. You working on
we
something?
will have resolution come tomorrow.
Good lad. Square Enix is saying it's considering remastering more old titles for like FF Pixel remaster success. Yep, cashing in.
Yep, people like money.
Yep. Who was?
You have to think remasters have been a big success for a lot of companies. I'm not a fan of them just because I'm kind of like I want new, but
You think
I mean,
about it,
people keep
20
buying these.
games that we loved 20 years ago that the kids don't know about. You know, if it's brought up to date with the proper control schemes and stuff we got there, rather than just a graphical thing, but if it's a real overhaul, it's like new Coke, new generation. And of course, after raising Game Pass prices, Xbox has brought back its $1 trial offer. The introductory offer lets players get their first month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass for $1 or £1. The deal is not available for Game Pass for console. Sad face. As of July 6th, prices increased in most markets excluding Norway, Chile, Denmark, Switzerland, and Saudi Arabia. So, there you go. It went up.
Now, interesting.
It went
By
down.
the way, according to the last story, talking about remasters, Corazon was saying in the chat, he thinks they ruined Final Fantasy VII with the.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Remaster.
Oh, I just loved it beforehand.
Have you ever played a Final Fantasy game, Robin? Ever?
I think I've switched one on once and went, fuck that. I am just not intelligent enough for a Final Fantasy game. Honestly, it's just, I'm not intelligent enough, you know?
That's I think I would say no. You are intelligent, therefore you can't do Final Fantasy games.
Oh, that's not fair, is it really? It's not fair. It is the summertime, it is July, there's very, very little gaming news going on, and we're all sitting on tenterhooks about the Microsoft Activision deal, so that'll be very, very interesting. And hopefully we'll get some resolution there before the end of the summer. And that leaves us at
Agreed.
the end of the news. Some new releases coming.
Kim. Hey Kim, before we even do the new releases, let's give a shout out. We've had a
Okay.
few different people in the chat. Let's give them some love.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, as said just a few minutes ago, Corazon's in there. Mike Chin. We've got Lord and Boomer. So thanks y'all for dropping in the chat and keeping it going. So that's what we're here for.
Sweet.
We appreciate you. It's kind of like my post randomly on Facebook because I'll get a notification, celebrate the members in your group. So occasionally I'll make some stupid post in our Facebook groups, and that's why we appreciate you. Anyway, your new
Appreciate
releases
you.
for July 9th through the 15th are The Legend of Heroes, Trails into Reverie for the PS5, PS4. I feel like I read that one last week, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did, and I didn't erase
Can't
it.
remember.
Anyway, PS4, Switch, PC, July 7th. Yeah, I must not have
Yeah,
hit that one. But
I think you didn't erase that.
yeah, anyway, it's out. Lost in Play.
Fail vote, Kim. Fail.
I know.
Fail.
Sorry. I'll try better next week. Lost in Play, iOS, Android, July 12th. Mordhau. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Mordhau for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, July 12th. Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, one I'm looking forward to. Disappointed it's not on Xbox, but anyway. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, Mac, iOS, and Android, July 12th. Gravity Circuit for PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC, July 13th. And last but certainly not least, Exo Primal for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, July 14th. And those are your new releases.
An interesting note on Exo Primal, it is on Game Pass as well.
It is indeed. So there you go. And I think actually I downloaded that one already. So.
I have it downloaded too. I will give this a try. I don't have high hopes,
right?
But the whole thought of shooting a bunch of dinosaurs sounds fun,
right?
But my fear is it's going to be repetitive very quickly. Says the guy playing Diablo 4 right now. That
right, and all the goat men.
Yeah, there is a bit of that repetitiveness within that game. That's what, if I had one critique, it's I just want more variety of enemy types. But
right.
I mean, there's still
my thing
a lot.
is, I don't want to clear out a section and then have to turn around 2 seconds later to go back and get something and come back, and they've all come back, and then I've got to slay them all again. It aggravates me.
I thought your real gripe was going to be the fact that Butcher was trying to kill you.
Well, that too,
It was like a personal thing. Playdates, Robin. If I was to play a Setta Corsione Competizione Lasagna Pizzeria Mozzarella, if I was going to do that, what day would it be best for me to join your community of bongos, racing bits?
Thursday.
Bongo racing.
Thursday evenings, 10 o'clock UK time. Be there from 10 to 10. Come go to Bongo Racing and look at the notes of my videos. Join the Discord, and there's lots of really old, senile people that will help you there. If you don't have a beard, beards will be provided.
Bring your beard.
Did you say, by the way, UKK time?
UKK time.
UKK time. Was that something new?
Look, I have a stutter.
All right. Hey, Wednesday nights, Halo night, still happening. We've been having fun. The Bunnymen still ride.
Nice.
And yeah, it's been pretty comical because we all now were wearing our bunny ears, and you have to think the other team's like, oh, they're going to be really good. They're going to be really good. And then we turn out to be shit. But we still have fun. That's all that matters.
That's the important thing.
Yes. Friday nights has not transitioned into anything. I will be honest in saying we haven't been doing PUBG. We haven't been doing Call of Duty. We haven't been doing anything other than probably playing Diablo of late. Blame Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to hang out and play games, look, we're all online from time to time with the exception of Pete, who's buried in his boat.
Right.
So shoot us a text message. Send us a message on one of the systems, whether it be Xbox Live, on Discord. It's the future. You'll find us all over the place, even on the Twitter spheres, the Facebook pages. You can send us a message. We'll hang out. We'll play games. That's what we like doing that.
Right.
I think that is it for the show this week, guys.
We have beards.
Wow. Yes, we do have beards.
Who has beards?
All of us.
Only one person here has a beard.
We have all beards. Kim, lift your head, will you?
Sorry.
That's better. Wear your beard properly.
We do all have beards. I take it back. We all have beards. It's the Bearded Podcast. Kim, start us off with some shout outs with your beard full and glory.
Thank you. I've been grooming it. Anyway, again, shout out to our chat. Corzon, Mike, Boomer, Lord. Thank y'all for being in there, because you're the reason we do this silly podcast. Other than we all need mental help, and we've chosen to, use each other, apparently. I don't know if that's wise, but here we are. Anyway, hopefully y'all have a good week. Other than that, I guess it's over to Pete.
I'm just going to shout out someone from work. His name's Martin. He's left today, and I pretty much took him on from when he left school.
Oh, that one is gone now too. Wow.
Not the good one.
Oh.
Not,
Fuck him, he's gone.
Hey, Martin. Sorry, you're not the good one.
he knows I don't need to say that on purpose. Yeah, Martin, he started from leaving school, and his best friend pretty much come on at the same time, Ryan. And to be fair, they're a good set of lads. They've just done well. They've come on leaps and bounds. Martin's left today, and I've still got Ryan, so I've still got the good one. The Martin's, he's moving on to some conference sales job, and to be fair, like I say, he started from an hospitality assistant to he's doing duty manager stuff and working in conferencing, and he's just done great. And I'm proud of helping him along his way, and I wish him all the best for what he does in the future. It was sad to see him go today, but there we go. I've got Ryan left, and a few more. I've got a good team, but it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and slowly diminishing. I'm sad to see them all go, but anyway, shout out to Martin. Good luck for the future, mate. Well done. And I'll pass you over to Robbie.
Yeah, I just big shout out to the BBC. It's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow. There's the latest scandal raises its head, and we find out who this personality is that's dropped their pants. That's going to be good fun. To you guys, you know what? I like this. Even though we had thunder, lightning, and power cut, we soldiered on tonight, and Kim stayed liquefied, and Pete stayed awake. And Greg survived the bombing of his house on the 4th of July, even though he thought it was fireworks. It was bombing. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. I love doing this. And to all the people that listen to it, thank you. Thanks for sticking with us for all these years. It is a good thing, and it's a lovely little community, and I can't wait till we all get back together in the flesh once again. So I will see you all next time. You'll see me doing bongo racing on YouTube with my new season starting. I have big goals this year. So, and I'll see you out there.
For a second.
You saw big ball.
Okay.
Big balls.
Yeah, big balls.
Big balls.
Big balls.
Big balls, McGinty.
Balls. Yeah. Shout out to the three of you. Thank you for taking some time to hang out. And thanks to Robin's Power for staying on the second time.
Mm-hmm.
To Martin, get lost. Ryan is the dude. Pete told us you're trash.
I think I'm getting high in here. Video console
shout
high.
Out to Contact High. Have you checked it for like a hidden stash, Robin? That's the
I
other
have.
question.
Well, there is a coin slot in it. There was 150p piece in it, so I've already made money out of it. So great stuff.
There we go. Shout out to the community. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week. I will not be here, but Robin,
Oh yeah.
Kim, maybe Pete, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll drag Phil out.
You never know.
We'll be back. Something.
Yep.
And
Something.
something. That's it.
Cheers.
Get out of here.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.